Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Amadai TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. I'm your host, Queen AmadaiShakur. Okay, so I'm laughing because Wayne World said the Queen is working like a dog, child. She's taking a nap, LOL. Wayne World, you need to sit down somewhere. You go in on me every day. I am so tired of you. Oh my goodness, I do work a lot. Beloved, you are so nefarious. Okay, so let's see who all's in here besides Wayne World. We got Gina Lane, Claudette, Stacy. Okay, Emperor Rex is in the house, Nessie X, Chrissy One Love. Okay, so let's get into it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. All right, to all of my Stardusters. So, if you all have not, hey Midnight Green, let me put this link in the chat. This is the link to my meditation channel for those of you who listen to meditative sounds. All right. I'm going to go to it for a second until the rest of us get in here. We're having trivia today, so get ready. I hope you all tuned in for the broadcast earlier this week. Please pay attention. All right, beloveds. Now let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, those are some soothing sounds that you can find on my meditation channel. It's called Universal Language. Okay, the Universal Language, and it's spelled Y-O-U. The Universal Language. Okay, so please make sure you subscribe. And the videos are like 10 hours, so you can listen to them overnight as you sleep. Okay. Now, with that all being said, let's get this party started. Okay, so I have a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you all can see that. Today, we're going to be talking about dreams again. Now, we've talked about dreams before, different aspects of dreams, but we're going to be talking about today specifically what it means when someone shows up in your dreams. Okay, with that all being said, now I can actually pull people into my dreams. Okay. Can anyone in here do that? Once in the chat, if you've ever pulled someone into your dream, whether you did it on purpose or unwittingly. That's where they got the movie Nightmare on Elm Street. That comes from people actually being able to do that. And they also got it from something that happened to some people in Vietnam back in the 70s. Where they were all experiencing this entity that was in their dreams. And some of the people died before they woke up or something like that. Or they died shortly after they woke up. Okay. Some people saying yes. Now, those of you who've been following me, my day ones, you know that I, in fact, am clairvoyant and I have prophetic dreams very often. And I've told you all things that I've dreamt before, and those things have absolutely come true. So if you have a talent like that, you likely also will have lucid dreams very often. And we've talked about lucid dreams before. For those of you who didn't see that broadcast, please go back and look at it, okay? Okay, so now, hey, child Brooklyn. So now we're going to get into it. I see you, Kathy B, Sierra. Okay, so lights up, please like and share. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to get into it. Hold on just a second. All right, so here we go. Okay, why someone shows up in your dreams? A certain person appeared in your dream last night. This is for example, and you can't help but think that there's something bigger at play. Now, is this person thinking about you, or was your dream a complete and total coincidence? Okay, maybe, maybe not. I really don't believe in coincidences, as I told you before. Now, we'll take a closer look at what dreaming about someone really represents, and most importantly, if it means that you're on that person's mind. We'll even walk you through some common spiritual and psychological interpretations of these dream varieties so you can have the inside scoop on what's going on in your subconsciousness. Now, possibly it's more likely related to how your brain processes information. Maybe you were thinking about this person before you fell asleep. Now, that's happened to me. If I'm thinking about someone before I doze off, before I go into a deep sleep, I tend to dream about them. Okay, so maybe that's the reason in some cases. But experts have a lot of different theories on why we dream, but the majority of them revolve around the way the brain creates memories, handles emotions, and processes information. Okay, not a mystical connection between two people. Now, all in all, the field of dream interpretation isn't fully understood by sleep experts. With that being said, there's nothing wrong with believing that your dreams could have more mystical and or spiritual implications for your life. You see, scientifically, people, often when they're looking at scientific research, they don't tend to look into the paranormal or the spiritual aspects of things or the metaphysical aspect of it. They always try to find a scientific way to justify things or to explain things. So they may not necessarily think that, oh, you're sending messages telepathically to someone before you go to sleep or as you sleep, or that you can pull someone into your dream. But you absolutely can do these things because I've done them myself, as I've said. Now, dreaming about a close friend often relates to your own personality traits that the friend embodies. Dreaming about an old acquaintance could be your brain's way of processing a moment when you pass by a similar looking stranger on the street. Dreaming about an ex could simply mean that your subconscious hasn't quite let go of them and what they represent to you. Sometimes if you still are pining for someone, you may be thinking about them off and on, and that person's the memory and thoughts are in your subconscious. Okay, so you likely will dream about them, especially like I said, if you've been thinking about them before you went to sleep, or even sometime earlier that day, or even that week. Doesn't have to be right then. It doesn't have to be before you fall asleep, or even on that same day. Okay, dreaming about a random male stranger or female could signify your brain working through combative impulses and desires in your memory. Now, with that all being said, the person is trying to tell you something. Some people believe in the potential power of dream telepathy, or the power to broadcast a message to someone in their own dream. In fact, some scientists even studied this potential phenomenon in the 60s and 70s. Now, let me tell you something. I think that some people can transmute messages in their dreams, and they can do it when they're awake as well. Because I have some very close friends that sometimes, if I'm thinking about them, they will absolutely call me. Or I'll call them and they'll say, oh, I was just thinking about you. Well, that's because we're likely on the same wavelength, and somehow we were sending signals to one another. Okay. Some people don't believe in this, but let's talk about it for a second. I'm going to stop the share for just a moment. Okay. Sometimes we send people signals, and sometimes they send us signals. And think about it like this. Our brains are very receptive and perceptive. Now, Kathy B said someone did last night. Okay. Kathy B said happens all the time. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever been somewhere? I'm going to prove to you how this works, or how that this is a thing. Have you ever been somewhere, maybe in a crowd, and you felt that someone was watching you? Now, you weren't facing this person. You didn't see them. You might not even have known them. But for some reason, you got the feeling that someone's watching you, and you turn around and someone's looking right at you. Has that ever happened? Once in the chat if that's ever happened to you. Once in the chat. Sierra said, OMG, it happened to me yesterday, okay? If you're in a crowd somewhere and you feel like someone's watching you, looking at you, whatever, and you turn around and there is someone looking right at you, what do you think that is? You think that's just coincidence that you had that feeling? No. Okay, absolutely not. A lot of people are saying once. Okay, so there you see that our brains are very perceptive. Okay, and that sometimes signals are sent to us. Sometimes we receive signals. It's like an antenna picking up messages from all around. And let's not forget that I always tell you that thoughts are electromagnetic energy. Okay, and they're transferred. So with that all being said, this is why you get those sensations and you're like, wait a minute, somebody's looking at me. I feel like somebody's watching me or something. You turn around and there it is. Okay. So, right. Wayne World says instinctual. Absolutely. Okay. Now let's go back to the share. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Okay. Now by this school of thought, dreaming of someone could very well mean that someone's thinking of you. Or more specifically, trying to send you a message. Okay, there are some pretty compelling arguments both for and against dream telepathy. Some people doubt the human brain's ability to mesh with another person's mind, while other people have offered firsthand experiences or evidence of their telepathic dream experiences. You know, and here's another thing too. Sometimes friends that are very close to me, my boyfriend specifically, and friends that I'm really good friends with, well, sometimes I'll be thinking something. I don't say it. I could just be thinking it, and then they'll say it. Or vice versa. They could be thinking something, and I'll say it, and they'll say, oh my God, I was just thinking that. Now, if that's happened to you, that's further proof. These things are not happenstance or a coincidence. Please pay attention. Now, the person managed to manifest themselves into your dream. That could be the possibility. Sometimes people do that, okay? Sometimes people can manifest themselves into your dreams. Now, you all may remember, those of you who are my day ones, you may have remembered that I told you all about a year or so ago when I was exposing someone on YouTube, right? And this person, people close to this person, their mother-in-law and their wife, showed up in my dream. And they were trying to do stuff to me. And I told you all about it the next day. And I didn't even know what the mother-in-law looked like until some other person who was exposing them showed a picture of her. And I said, that's the lady I saw in my dream. But I already knew it was their mother-in-law before I even saw the lady. And my spirit told me that. And plus, I'm, clairvoyant. So I knew that this person's trying to put something on me like voodoo or something like that. And then later, this person admits that they do roots. So I just want you all to pay attention, honey. At the end of the day, I believe we all have spiritual gifts and we all have the ability to know these things and see these things, but everyone doesn't tune into it. And some people, it lies dormant because you may not believe in it. You may have never accessed it, or you may have not ever strengthened the ability. Because with spiritual gifts, they're just like when you go to the gym to work out and build muscle to make it stronger, to make your muscles bigger and stronger. That's how it is. Okay, with your spiritual gifts. If you don't use it, you lose it. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets, the more profound. Okay, so now, according to some spiritualists, it's perfectly possible to manifest yourself into someone else's dreams with steps like creating clear intentions, visualizing your success, and repeating affirmations. Now, by this logic, it's totally plausible that someone has manifested themselves to appear in your dreams. And see, that's what happened to me. When those people were showing up in my dreams, they were clearly, I'm convinced, trying to put voodoo on me, but it didn't work. You see, because I'm protected. I told you all before that ever happened, I also told you that I had dreams about my ancestors, okay, who were shamans, some of them, and they came to me in my dreams and they were putting a protection. They did a protection ritual, a smudging ritual over me, and they were protecting me. And so when these people were trying to do this, it didn't even work. Okay. And so they showed up and manifested themselves in my dreams because they wanted me to see them. They wanted me to know they were doing this, apparently. If you ever saw the movie The Serpent in the Rainbow, there's a scene where this guy has been trying to put voodoo on this guy or whatever. And then he shows up in the guy's dream and the guy sees him in town the next day. I think it was. It's been years since I saw it. But I think you saw him in town or going in a store or something the next day. And the guy who was manifesting himself into his dream, who was trying to put something on him, he said, I saw you in your dreams last night. Now, how could he tell you that he saw you in your dreams unless he was manifesting himself into there? Okay. And let's not forget The Serpent in the Rainbow was based on some true events. Now, the idea of someone manifesting you in this way would be flattering, but also a little overwhelming and violating. Now, to counteract this person, try repeating positive affirmations to yourself, as well as visualizing a protective barrier surrounding you. See, that's what I'm telling you. When the ancestors put their protective barrier around me, when they did the smudging ritual, well, that's what protects me. Okay? I'm protected by the spirit of my ancestors anyway from nefariousness. Pay attention. So you could be connecting with your twin flame. We've talked about twin flames on here before. If you missed that video, you can go back and watch. Okay, you're connecting with your twin flame. Some spiritualists believe that twin flames can get in touch with one another through dreams, especially when you're separated. Your twin flame might be sending you a strong enough vibe to be popping up in your dream, or they might be astral projecting, coming to see you. This is what some people do. Some people can move in and out of different dimensions. Okay, they could be astral projecting their way in. Now, with that all being said, what is a twin flame? Twin flames are two separate people who each make up one half of a soul. Because of this, they have a very unique, strong, and profound connection. There's a guide that you can check out to see your potential twin flame. And this is in wikis. You can look it up on wikis. It's called How I Met My Twin Flame. There's a quiz that you can take if you have questions about that, but also refer back to that video that I did about it. It goes more in depth. Now, there's a soul connection linking the two of you. A soul tie is essentially a profound spiritual, mental, and emotional connection that tethers two people together, like friends, loved ones, lovers, and even sometimes business associates, colleagues, co-workers, or whatever. Okay, if a certain person pops up in your dream unexpectedly, it could be proof that this individual is your soul tie. In fact, you could very well be popping up in their dreams too. So you should ask them. Now, here's what I'll say. I've told you all this before. There was a person that I used to work with, and I didn't really know this woman very well, but me and her had the same dream. How many of you remember me telling you about this? Once in the chat. There was a woman that worked with me years ago when I was in college, and she had the exact same dream that I had. And I thought it was so crazy that she came up to me and she's telling me this dream, and I had the exact same dream. She even used the same words that I used to describe the dream when I was telling it to someone else. Now, mind you, I had the dream 2 years before she told me about it. So I'm thinking, how could she have the same dream that I had 2 years ago? So I spoke to an older person who's a shaman, and they told me that's because there's no time in the dream realm. Because we have to remember, time is a man-made construct, okay? There's no such thing as time in the spiritual realm or any of that. In the dream realm, there's no concept of it. So when she had this dream 2 years after I did, well, that's in this dimension, it was 2 years. But in the spiritual dimension, it probably was the same time, or because there's no significance to time. Now, thinking and worrying about a particular person a lot is another key sign that someone could be your soul tie. You might also feel like you've known them for an extended period of time. You ever meet someone and you feel like you've known them all your life, but you literally just met them? Maybe you knew them in a past life. That's another thing that's very important to note. Now, a loved one who passed away is getting in touch. That could be another reason you're dreaming about someone. Many people have reported cases of visitation dreams or experiences where a loved one appeared to them in a dream and passed along a message. If a deceased friend or loved one makes an appearance in your dream, they could also be contacting you from beyond the grave. Some people observe the presence of a deceased loved one through certain fragrances, voices, and special symbols. Some people even report visits from angels in their dreams. Now, I'll say this. My great aunt died probably about, I want to say about 15 years ago. On the day that she died, she came to me in my dream. I knew she was dead because here's the thing. I'm going to stop the share for a minute. Okay, so Claudette said, I just dreamt of my late husband last night. Okay. Now, here's the thing. My great aunt died years ago, and I think she died like sometime after midnight, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I was dreaming and I dreamt about her. I dreamt that she was standing at the foot of my bed wearing this red satin robe. Now, the robe had initially belonged to my grandmother, who had also passed away. And the thing is, my grandmother got that robe from her other sister. Okay, because my great aunt was my grandmother's sister. And the other sister, she had also passed away. But the robe initially belonged to her. When she died, the robe was given to my grandmother. And then my grandmother died. Now, mind you, when this all happened, I was a child. I was like 12 years old. So in my mind, every time I saw that red robe, to me, it symbolized death. Because my great aunt had it, then she died, and then it went to my grandmother, and then my grandmother died. So when my other great aunt appeared to me in a dream, standing at the foot of my bed wearing that robe, I knew she was dead because that robe always was a symbol of death to me. And so I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, my cousin's calling my phone, and before she told me, I said, I already know. I said, Aunt Ola is dead. And she says, how did you know? Who called you? I said, I just saw her in my dream. And I knew she was coming to visit me to let me know that she's passed on. So, yes, absolutely, our deceased relatives will come and visit us. And they will bring us messages and things like that. And if you're someone who's spiritually in tune, specifically if you're clairvoyant or psychic, whatever you want to call it, or if you have other spiritual gifts, you'll be a lot more receptive to these things. Okay, Greg says dreams mean good rest, good sleep. Right, unless they're nightmares. Claudette said very deep. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the share. Kathy B said that happened to her once. Okay. All right, so dreaming about an ex. Now, dreaming about an ex can represent different things in a dream. The most obvious one being past pain and trauma. Maybe you had a volatile relationship, a toxic relationship. As you recover from the uncomfortable events that happened in your old relationship, your ex can make an unwanted appearance in your dream. Some other interpretations could be that you crossed paths with your ex and your brain is processing the memory of seeing them. Or maybe you still want them and you just can't get over it. Now, you're struggling with an issue that your ex represents, like infidelity or abuse. Maybe that's why they're showing up in your dream. Your ex personifies negative emotions that you associate with an individual, like irritation. If you're dreaming about an ex in a romantic way, it could be a sign that there's something about the relationship you need to uncover and process. Now, dreaming about someone you don't like, that's a good one. It never feels good when someone you dislike pops up in your personal dreamland. But they might be showing up because of some negative unresolved feelings that you're experiencing. Dreaming about this individual could also be your brain's way of analyzing the reasons that you dislike them so much. Some other interpretations include you shove down your strong negative feelings for someone during your waking hours, so the feelings manifest in your dreams instead. Maybe you've been talking negatively about this person or sharing how you feel about them with someone else, and maybe you just don't like them to such a degree that it's just embedded in your subconsciousness and it shows up in your dreams. This person does. Or you're anticipating crossing paths with this person in the future and you're just preparing yourself for it mentally. You're processing the regret of a lost friendship or a relationship. That's another reason. Or the hated person symbolizes a fear that you just don't want to face. Now, dreaming about cheating. Let's talk about it. Some of y'all cheaters, do you all dream about cheating? One's in the chat. I bet nobody puts ones in the chats because nobody wants to admit they're a cheater, but I digress. Dreams about cheating tend to represent fear more than the act of cheating itself. For instance, a prior victim of infidelity might have dreams that revolve around cheating as they continue to grow and heal from the experience. For some people, dreams about cheating might represent something more abstract, like a desire to enter a polyamorous relationship. Anybody want to come clean? I have questions. Now, dreaming the same thing again and again. How many of you once in the chat, if you have reoccurring dreams? Because I absolutely have had reoccurring dreams plenty of times. Now, reoccurring dreams are often linked to personal fears and experiences. Because of this, they tend to revolve around frequent themes such as falling, feeling completely nude in public, being chased, and so on. With that being said, these dreams don't have a universal theme across everyone's psyche and can mean different things for different people. Now, sometimes this is what happens to me. When I specifically have reoccurring dreams, more likely than not, it's because something that I'm dreaming is going to happen. For example, with the whole thing with 9/11, I remember that was so long ago, and I was much younger, of course. But back then, when I was dreaming about 9/11, I dreamt about it 5 days in a row. I dreamt about planes crashing into buildings for 5 days in a row. And I've told you all this before. I actually called the Federal Aviation Administration to tell them about this. Okay. So that actually ended up happening. So when I have these recurring dreams, I really pay attention because it lets me know, gives me a signal that something's about to happen. Now, some experts believe that recurring dreams give the brain a chance to practice being in dangerous situations. Okay, just like 9/11, that was a dangerous situation. Another popular theory highlights recurring dreams as a means of working through something traumatic. In some cases, recurring dreams could be a symptom of a mental health disorder, such as generalized anxiety disorder or PTSD. Dreaming about someone unknown. Now, what's this all about? Dreaming about someone you've never met before can be a definite sign that this mystery person is thinking about you, but it can also indicate other things. An unknown figure, for instance, might represent the universe extending a message to you, or it could symbolize a spirit guide that's trying to get in touch with you. And let's not forget that our spirit guides, some people call them angels. Some people say they're the ancestors. Your ancestors absolutely can be your spirit guides. And you can have more than one spirit guide at any given time. So with that all being said, some people call them guardian angels. But nonetheless, they do try to reach out to us and they give us different signs and symbols. Some of those are you'll see angel numbers. If you didn't see the broadcast I did about angel numbers or orbs, then go back and watch those when you have time. But when you see angel numbers like 111, 333, 1111, and so on and so forth, that's usually a spirit guide, ancestor, whatever you choose to call it, trying to give you a message. Sometimes it's the Most High trying to give you a message. Okay? When you see orbs of light, that is usually a sign that an energy is around you, some sort of entity, possibly your spirit guide, an ancestor. Okay? And I did a video about that also. Now, an unknown person might just be personifying some of your innermost desires, like the types of relationships you'd like to experience. Ask yourself what it is about this person in the dream that you're attracted to. Chances are they're highlighting something that you need to bring on, that you need to bring or express, in your life right now. And sometimes when there's people in my dreams that I don't know, sometimes I can never see their face. Sometimes the entire dream, this person's there, but I don't see their face. I see the figure, the shape of their body, the clothing or whatever, but I never see their face in some cases. Not all cases, but in some. Dreaming about someone you lost touch with. Okay, how many of you have this to happen? If an ex-friend appears in your dream, it could symbolize that you're still grieving and recovering from the breakup itself. Their appearance could also highlight the negative emotions you associate with that same person, like the frustration or humiliation you felt when the relationship ended. This type of dream doesn't necessarily mean that it's time to reconcile with your ex-friend or your ex-lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Ultimately, you have to take a moment of reflection and decide what's best for your mental health. Dreaming about having a conversation with someone. Okay, dreams about conversations are often meant to shed light on your current relationships. So you should take a closer look at who the person is, as well as the message that they're communicating. Because sometimes people are sent into your dreams. They're in your dreams to give you a message, okay, to warn you of something. People that are clairvoyant, psychic, whatever you want to call it, those people will sometimes receive messages through their dreams. I have this all the time happen to me. And sometimes it'll come through a person. It could be someone you know or someone you don't know. Your brain might also be conjuring a fictitious conversation as a way of helping you process certain difficult emotions. There's a good chance that your brain is disguising your own wisdom and knowledge as guidance from a friend or loved one. All right. So Darnell said he has the falling dream. I've had that dream like many years ago. I dreamt of falling a couple of times, but I always woke up before I hit the ground. I also had a dreams, shall I say, about flying. I dreamt that I could fly on several occasions. And I just have a lot of strange dreams sometimes. Okay, here's the thing. If you're going to sleep at night with the radio or the television on, you should not do that. You should not do that, because when you fall asleep with the TV on, your dreams will be affected by what you're listening to. How many of you have had that? How many of you have fallen asleep with the television on and then you're dreaming about what you're hearing on the television? That's why you should always turn the TV off, not sleep with the radio on. Now, if you're listening to soothing meditative sounds, that's different, because those are at a higher frequency. But when you're listening to things that can influence your dreams, you shouldn't do that, because your dreams should always be organic, because that's how sometimes you receive messages. If you have spiritual gifts, that's how you receive messages and things like that. Timber Dan said also eating right before you go to sleep can give you nightmares. I've heard older people say that. I've never had that happen to me. Eileen said, me too, Queen, all the time flying. Okay. So with that all being said, I'm going to show you all a couple of videos from a couple of people on spiritual TikTok. Okay. And then we'll start the trivia. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Please pay attention to what they're talking about.
The parties in your dream, they don't like when you know it's a dream. Like, why?
That's because it's not really a dream, and I had to learn that the hard way. I was told to ask in a dream if I was dreaming, and that was the worst decision I've ever made. The horrors that followed. I remember the one time I said it, this person or thing looked at me and I felt like a target. Like if you saw that Insidious movie and that husband got body jumped by that old lady that had been watching him his whole life and just plotting, that's how it felt. Minus the body jump. After asking one time, the whole dream turned to static, like a bad TV reception. And then in one dream, I was getting chased on some Men in Black shit, like jumping through windows, climbing hotel railings, like running for my life. And it felt very real because it was. They knew I was gifted, I knew where I was, and they were trying to get me.
Okay, now I've never had that happen to me. I've heard people say that before, that when you're in a dream, if you ask if it's a dream, then something bad happens. I don't know. I've never experienced that because I never ask if it's a dream. Because when it's a lucid dream, you'll know that it's a dream. When it's a lucid dream, you'll know that you're having a dream and you can actually control the dream. It's really weird. For those of you who missed the lucid dream broadcast, please go back and watch. It was very interesting. But at the end of the day, Lady Lioness said, I never asked either. Okay, please. So when I'm having a lucid dream, I know that I'm dreaming. It's like I can see myself lying in the bed asleep. It's like I'm outside of my body, like astral projection. Like I'm standing there and I'm looking at myself and I see myself asleep. And then I see myself wake up and I start doing things. I can control what happens in the dream, though. If I say, okay, wake up, I can wake up. Also, things are very real. Like, for example, I remember one time I was having a lucid dream and I walked outside the front door early in the morning in the dream and I wasn't wearing shoes and I could literally feel the wetness of the dew on the grass. There was another time when I had a dream that someone shot me and I could feel the warmth of the blood as it was rolling down my face. It was very weird. And at that same time, someone close to me had the same dream. Had the same dream at the same time. It was real crazy because when I woke up, it was, and I think I told you all this before, but when I woke up from that dream, it was 10 minutes to 6 in the morning. And I'm sitting there because the dream scared me. It woke me up out of my sleep because I got shot in the dream. And so then this person calls me 10 minutes later and they were breathing all heavy. And I'm like, what's going on? They said they just had a dream that they got shot and they were dying. And they could literally feel the warmth of the blood running down their face. And I was like, oh my God, I had the same dream. So I thought that was real strange. Okay. Now, I don't know if I unwittingly pulled them into the dream or they pulled me into the dream, but how were we both dreaming the same thing at the same time? I thought that was very interesting. Okay. Now here's another video.
Video is specifically for people who are spiritual or clairvoyant or clairaudient or some sort of spiritual. So if you're not that, you can just go ahead and scroll because you're not about to judge me on my page. I'll wait. Okay, so anyway, as a clairvoyant person, I get messages in the form of dreams. And this is why I say that I absolutely hate when people pop up in my dream. I hate it because stop thinking about me. Either say what you want to say in person or get up out of my head. I hate it so much because you're telling on yourself at this point. For a little bit of context, I had this friend, that's my bestie. We had a falling out a couple of years ago. And she kept popping up in my dreams, just kept popping up in my dreams. And so when we reconnected, I told her about it. And she was like, oh, yeah, it's because I was talking about you. She literally was like, oh, yeah, I missed you every day. Like, I was talking about you to all my friends. And I was really wanting you to reach out. And I'm just like, I already believed myself. Like, I already knew I wasn't tripping. But it's just further confirmation. So now, anytime. And I just saw a bluebird, so that's even further confirmation. So now, anytime somebody pops up in my dreams, I'm just like, bro, what do you want? What you gotta say? Are you gonna say it in person? Are you gonna say it in your waking life? If not, then stay up out of my dreams, please. Oh my God. If somebody else has this type of experience, let me know. Stitch this, comment, duet, whatever. But I want to know because I get so sick of people not saying it with their chest. I don't want to see you in my dreams. I just want to sleep. I don't want to think about you. But you're thinking about me and now I'm stuck. Okay.
People that have like vivid dreams, please, let's talk.
She goes on to ask, what is this? What are these dreams? If you are somebody that has very vivid dreams, they're always for a reason. They're usually always for a message that you need to receive. But first you have to figure out what type of dreamer you are. Some of us are prophetic dreamers where we could see what's coming. This could be for your individualized self or for the masses. Some people have mass dreams for the masses of what's coming that's going to affect us all. Then there are others that travel. So you're not necessarily, it's like you're still dreaming, but really you're traveling into other realms. These type of dreamers are the ones that go to usually another life that they're living simultaneously because we do live in multiple dimensions at once. And then there are the dream walkers that literally walk into other people's dreams. The point is, once you figure out what type of dreamer you are, then you'll figure out if the messages are for you, for the collective, if they're a warning, etc.
Okay, so for the
Okay. Nessie G says, I've had a dream of my ex and I could smell his body odor. It was so real that when I awoken, I felt he was in the room with me. That's interesting. He may have been trying to manifest himself into your dream, beloved. Desmond says, I had a dream that a girl I used to like and my ex was in the dream. And the girl told me that my ex had someone else the whole time we were together. So clearly snitching in a dream. Not snitching in a dream. You know what that was? That was likely, maybe she was trying to give you a message. Maybe that, or it could have been your subconscious because maybe you thought the ex was cheating the whole time. That's very interesting. Okay, so let's get ready for the trivia. Now, here's how it's going to go. Here's how the trivia is going to go. Okay, the trivia is for the members. The trivia is for the members. Okay, so if you're a member, we're going to start the trivia. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask the questions. Once I ask the question, the clock starts. You have 30 seconds to get your answers in. And I need you to send your answers to the email, therootofallevil227@gmail.com. therootofallevil227@gmail.com. Okay, with that all being said, let me pull up my stopwatch. Okay. You all saw what Timber Dan said. Submit your answers to therootofallevil227@gmail.com. Please do not put answers in the chats. Okay, if you put answers in the chat, you're disqualified. And if you're not supposed to be playing and you put answers in the chat, you're going to be put in timeout by the moderators. All right, so here's how it's going to go. Dan said no answers in the chat, please pay attention. Hey, Abolia Folletti. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, let me see. Okay, so I said I was going to give away one ebook, but in fact, I'll give away two. Okay, I'll give away two. So I have 4 questions. I'm only going to ask 2, but if no one guesses either of the questions, then I'll ask 2 more. Okay, so let's get ready. And here is the first question. Here is the first question. Who did I say people throw shade at? And one of the broadcasts from earlier this week, I talked about how people throw shade. And I said, who did I say that people specifically throw shade at? Time starts now. You got 30 seconds to get those answers in. Who did I say people throw shade at? Okay. You got 15 seconds left. All right. Time is up. Time is up. Okay. No one sent in the answer. No one sent in the answer. Aboli Folletti said you're on your way to the eye doctor, beloved. Okay. Well, I hope everything's all good with those eyes, honey. Okay, so no one got the answer. I said people throw shade. People only throw shade at those who are shining. You're welcome, beloved. I said people only throw shade at those who are shining. That was the answer. So nobody got it. So let's move on to the second question. The next question is, I did a video telling you that there are certain things you should never tolerate from anyone, no matter what. And I talked about how some people want to physically abuse people, and you shouldn't tolerate it at all whatsoever. But the people that do the abusing, what is it that I said they try to do immediately afterward? When people abuse people physically, what did I say that they try to do immediately after? 30 seconds. These are all easy if you watch the broadcast. Now, if you didn't watch the broadcast, well, that's another story. But if you watch the broadcast, these questions are very easy. I didn't go into anything complex. You have 15 seconds left. Time's running out. Time is up. Let me see if anyone sent in the answer. Okay. I only got one person sending the answer. It's incorrect. However, the answer is when people try to physically abuse someone, the first thing they try to immediately do, in some cases, what I specifically said was they try to justify their own nefariousness. They try to justify what they've done. Try to make excuses. Oh, you made me do it. Oh, if you hadn't done this, then I wouldn't have done that. If you hadn't said this, then I wouldn't have done it. That's what they do. They try to justify their own BS. So that was the answer. Okay, we're moving on to the third question. And 30 seconds on the clock after I say the question. Okay, the question is, what did I say that people tend to do when they can't control you? When they realize they can't control you and they fall out with you or whatever, what did I say that they tend to do? Like people who don't like you, when they realize they can't control you or whatever, they can't get their way, what do they try to do? 30 seconds. 30 seconds on the clock. This is all easy. Why is nobody getting these answers? I have questions. I have questions. All right, you all just saw this a couple of days ago. What is this? Time is up. Time is up. The answer is they try to control the way others view you. You see, when people fall out with you or they never liked you in the first place and they can't control you and get you to do what they want, well, then they try to control the way other people view you. So they start saying things about you that are negative. Most of the time, these things are lies that they just make up because they're haters. That's what I said. They try to control the way other people view you. That was the answer. Now, Michael, I see you sent me this article. It looks very interesting. I'm going to definitely read it after this live. It says millions injured or dead, including public figures. Yeah, I think it's talking about the venom. So I'll definitely watch or read that later. Okay, here is the fourth question. Here is the fourth question. The question is, oh, I'm sorry. I don't even have a fourth question. I thought I had 4 questions. So anyway, I'll just ask one about the video that I just did. Okay. So in the video that I just did about the dreams and people showing up in the dreams, hold on, let me find a good question. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let me see here. What did I say are two flames or twin flames? What did I say a twin flame is? Twin flames are blank. 30 seconds. What did I say a twin flame is? That should be easy because I literally just talked about it. All right. You got 10 seconds left, beloveds. 10 seconds. Also, Oh, time's up. Time's up. Let me see if anybody got the answer. Nope. Okay, nobody got the answer. One of my moderators has jokes. Okay, so nobody won? Are y'all serious right now? Nobody won. Well, better luck next time, beloved. So let me say this. For those of you who are members of the higher frequency, if you have the higher frequency membership, I did the masterclass a couple of days ago and it was really good. So, in fact, I think I did it yesterday. Today's Friday. Yeah, I did it yesterday. So if you missed the masterclass, please email me to let me know so I can send you the link so you can watch it. And also, there's someone who recently joined the higher frequency membership. Cornelia Gamble, I believe is the name. Now, I don't have your email, beloved. I tried to find you. I went on your YouTube channel, I couldn't find you. So could you please send me an email so I can send you the masterclass, because you pay for this. I don't want anybody spending that kind of money on this membership and not getting your masterclass. Okay, because that's a big perk for you guys. So with that all being said, I'm going to roll up out of here. I hope you all enjoy your strong end, not your weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day as well. Okay? So with that all being said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon.